Oh guys, look at this beautiful bread. If you want to know how to make this, just keep watching and you're going to know exactly what to do to make this beautiful bread. Howdy folks, welcome back to Texas Cooking Today. Now in this episode we're going to be making some beer bread. Now beer bread is delicious. If you've never had beer bread, you really need to try it. And if you have a thing about alcohol and just don't want it around you at all you have to do is just get some non-alcoholic beer. They do make it, and that's all there is to it. So I'll tell you what guys, let's get in the kitchen. Let's get busy making us a beautiful batch of beer bread. Come on, let's go. There you go. Now you can see everything quite clearly. I have put two different kinds of flour out here because I want to make it clear. You can make this bread with all-purpose flour or high gluten flour. Do not use a cake flour, guys. That won't work. The gluten content in it is too low to make the structure of the bread properly. And of course here you see high gluten flour. What that means, that's bread flour. So if you're out purchasing in the store and you want to find the right thing that's a high gluten flour, pick up a package of bread flour and you've got a high gluten flour. We're going to be using 4 cups of flour. We are going to be using 1 teaspoon of salt. I have over here some cornmeal, an unspecified amount. That's maybe 1/3 of a cup or more. But we're going to be using this not in the dough itself. We're going to be using this to keep the dough from sticking to our pan. Right here I have 4½ teaspoons of fast rising yeast. And if you're wondering, well, how many packages, that would be 2 packages of fast rising yeast if you're using the little packets or 2 cakes. Back here, this is 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar. Granulated sugar is to feed the yeast. Okay guys, before I get busy measuring that flour out, I'm going to open my beer. Guys, you don't have to have a sifter to sift flour. You see this? It's a strainer, okay? And that's one of the things I wanted to show you on this. This is such a really easy way to make bread. 4. That's all there is to it. Isn't that nice? So here we are sifting out this flour. We didn't go buy a sifter to do it. Now I own a sifter, sure, but using that doesn't really teach you much, does it? This does. It gets you there really easy. So I want to take my sugar, sprinkle it right over the top of my flour. I'm going to take my yeast and do the same. Isn't that nice? See how simple that works and how well it will work your ingredients right down into your flour. I can now put my salt in. I don't put the salt directly on the yeast, guys, because, well, salt impedes the growth of yeast. The same way our alcohol is going to impede its growth, so does that salt. And that's why I don't use too much salt in this. Normally, for a bread this size, I would probably use 2 teaspoons of salt. But because this has so much working against it and working against its rise, I decided to reduce that to 1. Normally I don't put that much sugar in a bread, but again, we're fighting that rising condition. So simple enough. Dry ingredients are in there. I have a spatula here, and also I have some gloves. I want to glove up for this. Guys, if you don't have gloves, when it comes time to reach your hand into this, take some of the flour that you have, and not necessarily this, it can be this, but just rub it all over your hands really good so that they're totally floured. When you do that, it helps keep your hands from sticking to the dough that you're mixing up. And that's the advantage there. But I want quick cleanup because I'm busy filming a show here. I don't have time for all the extra. I just want to pull the gloves off and move on. Okay, so I use cooking gloves. It also makes it a little bit cleaner and neater and that kind of stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and just get our beer in there. And remember, my goal was to make something simple to make. This doesn't require a lot of kneading, doesn't require a machine. So I take it and rotate it under bending it around. There we go. Now I'm finished. Okay guys, I can just throw this down in my bowl to rise, but I've got a different bowl for this. I've got a clear one that I'm going to put this down into. See what I mean by sticky? High hydration, okay? So, and if you're making this, you're at this point and you're going, oh my God, I can't believe that. And of course, if you're using the bread flour, it's even stickier, that extra gluten. Okay guys, we are down to the part that takes patience. Well guys, we're back to take a look at this beautiful dough. This has been 1 hour, and I told you we were just going to check this hour by hour. You can see, yes, there's been some rising, very distinct rising. We see some little air pockets opening up on the surface of it. When we look underneath, look at those pockets. Isn't that wicked cool? See, look down there. All right, guys, there we are. We are now 2 hours in. Let's pull this back. See there? Isn't that wild? Guys, we have to prepare the pan that we're going to be cooking this bread in. And what I have here is just some butter. Once I get the butter all over it, it's nice and coated, let's go ahead and get cornmeal down in this. I need enough to fully coat everything. Primarily the cornmeal, but the cornmeal and the butter that really provide for a good non-stick release on this. Okay, that's good right there. I'm just going to tap out the excess and I'm done. Okay guys, it has now been 3 hours of rising in this bowl. It's almost tripled in bulk. Look at all the air pockets underneath there. Isn't that beautiful? So I'm just going to simply take this, pull it free from the sides. It wants to stick, doesn't it? There we go. And all I want to do is turn it upside down, like I did earlier, kind of rotating it under. You see how sticky it is as I turn it under? Okay, now, and that's all it takes. We're done. Now, if you're doing this with bare hands and not gloves, you want to flour your hands real well. These, not a lot stick to it, but if you're doing it barehanded, a whole bunch will stick to your hands. There we go. It's in this. All I have to do, we're going to let this rise again, guys. There it is, guys. Our plastic wrap, as I like to call it, sticks only to itself wrap. Okay, folks, it has now been just a little over 2 hours on this. My rise on this dough, let me pull this back, you'll see it's almost to the sides of the pan now. On one side it has reached the side of the pan. So all I have to do is just let it keep rising. I'm going to let it fill this sucker a whole lot more. It's going to almost double from where it is now. Okay guys, this is finished its rising. It has dried just slightly on the outside. It's wonderful now. It's got such character on the outside of it. So what I want to do is I have a little device here. This is called a misto, and it's just a simple pressure sprayer that you pump up. I have it filled with water, and I want to give this a light spray on top. Now you can do that with a trigger sprayer also. It works just fine. A gentle light sprinkling of salt. I like that. It's just something that adds character to the top of that bread that I like to do. Now straight into the oven, 400 degrees. In 10 minutes I'm going to open the door, gently pull that out and spray it again on top, put it back in, and I'll do that 10 minutes again after that. So 10 minutes into the cook, spray it, 20 minutes into the cook, spray it, and then let it finish baking. And it should take around 35 minutes for this to bake into a golden brown. Guys, let me tell you, the smell in here is intoxicating. It has been 10 minutes. I have my sprayer ready and an oven mitt ready. So I'm going to open this up, spray it quickly, close it, and let it bake some more. Look at that. Gorgeous, isn't it? Now guys, what that spraying does, that just helps it to bake. Well, it helps that crust to take a little longer to brown. And when it does that, it develops a deeper crust, a thicker crust, and it has more character that way. So that's the reason I do that. Now, another 10 minutes, we'll spray it again. Okay guys, one last time, going to spray the top of it, and that'll be that for that. Look at that top, how beautiful the brown is on it. Lovely. Oh wow, it is beautiful guys. That was a 30-minute bake. Look at that. Good, crusty, hard top surface there. It didn't stick at all. There was no problems with that. We have an absolutely beautiful loaf of bread here. I give it a few minutes, well, actually more like about 15 minutes, just to cool down and set really nice, and then I'll slice into it and we'll take a look and see exactly what that's like inside. There it is guys, our beer bread. Beautiful, delicious beer bread. First, before I cut into this, give you a good look. Lovely color on it, nice structure, beautiful bottom, gorgeous bread, okay? Now this isn't, well, we'll just cut it open. We'll let you take a look, let you see for yourself. There we go. Right there, guys. Beautiful, even textured, lovely beer bread. This is definitely something that you should want to share with your friends. A beautiful item to add to a meal. So good. Sweet. The flavor of the barley's there, not so much a beer flavor, just a beautiful barley flavor. The color is rich. The flavor's magnificent. Guys, this is the kind of bread you need to make for a party, for celebration. When you want something really special, in a little bit, well, I'm going to make a garlic spread to go on it, and I want to toast it. It's going to be unbelievable. So please enjoy your beer bread. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much to my subscribers. Guys, if you would, please click the like button. It really, really helps me out, and I do appreciate that so much when you do that. Also, if you haven't subscribed, why not? Hey, I'm coming out with new recipes constantly. It's on a regular basis now. You see me on Thursdays. There's some good recipes here. So guys, join the club, go ahead and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching Texas Cooking Today. And please do one last thing, just have a good day. Bye-bye, guys.